Hi, my name is Brandy Randall. I am doing a video response to the case of Greta. I first want to start with a synopsis about the case. Greta is a young woman who has been in the United States for 6 months. She used to live in Norway. She became an immigrant bride to an American college professor. Since arriving to the United States, she has suffered from homesickness and is having difficulty adjusting to American life. Her husband would shower her with attention during their courtship, but now he has become consumed with his schoolwork and has become pretty distant from her. She tries to make friends but feels as if she's shunned by the academic wives. She really wants a divorce and to return to Norway, but she's not real certain if that's the right decision. Greta wants to become a therapist, but there are some complicating factors that's keeping her from pursuing that dream. I'm a close friend of her husband's and also a professional colleague to him, and I suggest that maybe she sees another counselor and she begins to cry and tell me that she feels uncomfortable with many Americans and that she's just relieved to talk to me and begs me not to reject her. So now I will be responding to the following questions. So the first question is, what reaction would I have towards Greta? And I'm kind of going to be flipping back and forth between the questions and my answers here. So to answer that first question, I would more than likely be shocked that she would be sharing this information with me, because it kind of puts you in an awkward position being a friend of her husband and also a professional colleague of his. And a lot of times people and couples, especially when they're of a certain status, like to keep a certain persona and make sure everything looks nice and happy and untarnished to outsiders. And the fact that she would share that personal information with me would make me feel like she desperately needed someone to talk to, because she wouldn't want to try to jeopardize her husband's career and make his colleagues think less of him. The second question is, what would you do or say when she begged you for not to reject her? So the answer to the second question is, I would reassure her that I would accept her. I would become the friend that she needs. I would empathize with her about being homesick. And I would just really try to give her advice and be that friend that she needs. I would tell her that I feel as if she should talk to her husband and express how she feels, get counseling, and try to resolve any issues they have. If that didn't work, then maybe filing for divorce and trying to go back to Norway will be the best decision for her, because at least she will be surrounded by friends and family and know the country and their way of life. It's really hard to adjust to a different culture when that's not something you're used to. And I feel as if her husband really knew how she felt deep down, that he would do his best to try to resolve those issues between them. Question 3. Would the fact that you're a close friend and a colleague present ethical problems for you that would make it necessary for you to refer her? What exactly is your responsibility to her? So my answer to this, I'm sorry, let me see. Um, I don't believe that you have any responsibility to her besides that she's just a human being in a state of depression and needs someone to be on her side. I do believe that there is a conflict because you're a friend and a colleague of her husband. But I feel as if you are more obligated to try to help a person, especially if you feel like they're not in the best state, even though it might not ethically be correct. I feel like you should still refer that person to a counselor if that is needed. And let me read exactly, because I'm kind of going off script. So let me read exactly my response. The response I typed was, I do not believe you have any responsibility to her besides she is a human being in a state of depression and needs someone on her side. She is homesick and needs a friend. The friendship with Greta would cause an ethical problem because you are the husband's colleague and a personal friend. If Greta shares any personal information about the relationship, professional lines might get blurred. An ethical dilemma in friendship may end in a tarnished reputation from both parties who are involved. It might affect your professional view of the husband when you think about the issues with the wife. And Cooper Hakeem, who is an organizational psychology practitioner, states, you want to be kind, professional, and nice, but we don't want to tell every person at work our deep, dark secrets and long-term goals and dreams. So I feel like it is kind of controversial because you're his friend, but at the same on the same note, you need to respect that she's in a state of depression and she needs help. If you can kind of try to keep her relationship and his relationship separate, like, okay, I can be your friend, I can, I mean, it's really difficult because as a friend, you want to share information with your friend, like your issues and your problems, especially since she doesn't have anyone to speak to or talk to or get things off her chest. But I would just try to put in place that, hey, I can be that friend to you, but since I'm his colleague and a close friend, I kind of don't want to know anything personal about you guys' relationship. Okay, I'm kind of running over, so let me move on here. So the next question is, assume that you did not know her husband and that she asked for help. What values do you have and what life experience have you had that are likely to increase your chances of working with her? What might get in the way of your providing her with this help? So this is a short question. A short answer. A value I have that would increase my chances of working with her is happiness. Like, I value happiness. I feel like everyone deserves to be happy in their life. Life is very short, and misery does not make it longer. It actually shortens your life. So I would not want her to stay in a situation where there is nowhere to turn and no happiness. I have experienced homesickness while attending college in my late teens, And, while you enjoy the new freedom that you have, you're still missing friends and family. And I know it's definitely hard for her being in a whole different country and feeling like you have no connection with anyone. So I feel like just valuing happiness and a person being happy would be that link, and that would increase my chance of working with her. The only obstacle I can think of that might get in the way of me providing help would be like a language barrier or a cultural barrier, which she had already expressed that she was having trouble adjusting to American modern life. So I don't know if maybe in Norway they were more old fashioned and weren't as go go and busy as we were, have the hustle and bustle, or I kind of would need more information about that. But those are only two things I think that would really, prevent me from helping if there's were a language barrier or a cultural barrier. So, yes, there you have it. Those are my answers to those questions on the case of Greta. Thank you. Bye.